fiber artist. I work in embroidery and mostly in pop culture, imagery. When I was in art school, I wasn't actually making that much pop culture inspired stuff. I think I so badly wanted to be taken seriously as an artist. And then I think it was kind of freeing to choose a subject matter that kind of couldn't possibly be taken seriously. Like the idea of embroidering Tiger Beat magazine and deciding that that's like fine art, you know, I'm gonna just reject the seriousness. That was freeing for sure. Once you get into a craft and people know that you're into a craft, they will send you supplies for said craft. So now everybody goes to thrift stores and finds me little linens. I have so many of these little things that I can choose from for future pieces. People send you thread, they'll send you like old sewing supplies, which is nice. I made 3 pieces for MTV in April of this year. They reached out to me through my website. So the 3 pieces I made were based on the MTV show TRL. They'd have their guests take pictures in the photo booth. So then I did a Mariah Carey, Christina Aguilera, and Lil Kim piece. I always kind of feel like pop culture, you know, music in general, these kinds of things can be so much more like sparkly and appealing than real life. And especially when you're younger, you're kind of looking for things that resonate with you. Especially like growing up queer, you really don't see a lot of people who are like you. And especially in the early 2000s, there was not a lot of people like us in media. So kind of like grasping at straws to kind of find things that resonate with you. Even like the Tiger Beats is like, it's funny because I loved those. They were so like colorful and sparkly, and like I loved, you know, like all the like Disney Channel girls that I felt like I related to. But even those were like, I was not the target audience for those by any means. Going back and revisiting things like Hannah Montana is fun as an adult because you freed yourself from the shame that you feel as a kid, or you kind of feel like, oh no, are people gonna think I'm weird because I'm like a boy who's into Britney Spears or whatever it is? Yeah. So now as an adult, you're like, no, it's cool. And you meet all these other people who are into the same stuff that you're into. So there's more to being queer to me than just like who you sleep with or who you're attracted to, or it's kind of more just like can be a perspective and a way of looking at things and your relationship to gender and looking at culture from just a different perspective. So I think that those things are more subtle and nuanced than, you know, just depicting like gay sexuality in a more overt way. One of my favorite pieces was Toni Collette in Hereditary. I just showed that one in Boston. So I did that one last year. I've kind of been trying to interrogate what the interest in horror comes from. I think usually when I choose a subject matter, it just feels right. And then as I'm making it or after I make it, I kind of interrogate like, oh, why did this feel right? Why did this fit into this thing that I'm doing? So it's not like I was like, oh, horror, yes, I need to do that. It kind of happens the other way. There's some connection between horror and camp also that I am trying to think through too, because there's so many camp classics like Death Becomes Her or Rocky Horror are like, they're horror based. And even Jennifer's Body, like you could kind of argue is like a camp movie because it's horror, but it doesn't take itself seriously at all. It's like a meshing of like camp, which is like the hyper positive, but then also like the morbid fascination and some like dark irony. Yeah, there's some connection there. This is a piece I'm working on. It's commission, and it's Lady Gaga, and she's wearing Thierry Mugler and smoking a cigarette. And yeah, it's almost done. You can see the back too. Yeah, actually this one's pretty neat for the back. Sometimes it gets pretty crazy. So I'm on Instagram, it's Scotty Loves You. I have a website, scottwalkerfineart.com. And my TikTok account is Slay Me Lee Curtis because Scotty Loves You was taken and I had to get creative.